and welcome along on this Friday evening to King Power Stadium. This is Matchday Live on Fox's Hub as Leicester City are looking to break a club record. It will be 10 straight wins if they can get all 3 points against tonight's visitors, Leeds United. Before we introduce tonight's guests, let's get all of the team news fresh off the press, of course, this evening as Leicester City and Enzo Maresca make two changes. They both come at the back as Ricardo and Fass come in for Cody and Hamza Chowdhury. This is the starting 11 then. It's Hermanson in goal, Justin, Vestergaard, Fass and Ricardo, Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Cassidy in that midfield with Mavididi and Fatawu either side of Jamie Vardy. On the bench it's Stolasic, Cody, Albrighton, Iheanacho, Sutar, Chowdhury, Daka, McAteer and Marcel. From a Leeds United point of view, Daniel Farke's side have been resurgent of late, winning 4 of their last 5, including a 4-1 battering of Huddersfield on Saturday. They make one change to that side as Archie Gray comes in for Jamie Shackleton, we think, at right back. Here's their starting 11 then. It's Meslier in goal, Byram, Strauch, Rodon and Gray across that back four, with Ampadu and Kamara holding in midfield, and then it's that front four which has been so dangerous in pretty much every game that they've played, so good that they're keeping Italian international Willy Gnonto on the bench. It's Somerville, Pirro and James in behind Jorginho Rutter. We'll talk a little bit about Leeds United later on, but as I said at the very top of the show, it would be a Leicester City record of 10 wins in a row if they can win tonight, and it will break a record that was set back in the last championship winning season, which involved our guest this evening, Liam Moore. Welcome along to the show. It's fantastic to have you here, and obviously you're without a club at the moment, but you're still looking for one and keeping fit.
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you for having me on. It's always amazing to come back. You know, I've not been back as many times as I'd like since I've left, but the couple of times I have, it's felt special, and today's obviously a different opportunity.
And you're looking forward to it, obviously. And you sat next to Jerry Taggart, who you have fond memories of course. Was it your reserve debut?
Yeah, not quite as nervous as I was back then. But yeah, Tags was the one that gave me my reserve debut, and probably gave me a fair few hairdryer treatments.
Well, I actually used to coach Liam on the 14 level. That's when I started doing a bit of coaching here at Leicester. And you can see straight away, you know, he's head and shoulders a leader on the pitch first and foremost, never mind his athletic ability and his technical ability. So it was only a matter of time. You know, players like Liam and Jeff Schlupp was in the under 14 squad who came through the ranks and obviously went on to make it to the first team.
As a coach, you can tell from a player at that age, you knew that.
Yeah, I think, you know, you say yeah, but his attitude towards the game was, you know, he was a captain of the under 14s back then, and his attitude towards the game was exemplary. You know, and you just thought, well, if he keeps his head down and keeps that attitude and driving forward, then Jeff Schlupp had all the pace and all the ability, and you know, so them two were the two standouts.
Yeah, and they both went on to make it. So, well done, Liam. We'll talk a little bit more about your time at Leicester in just a moment. We've got plenty, though, to get through here on Matchday Live this evening as we build up to kick-off, of course, at 8 p.m. This evening. Daniel Farke's side arriving at Leicester this evening. We'll look back, firstly, though, at that brilliant away win QPR. Struggling QPR, by all accounts, of course, but Harry Winks with that fantastic goal to secure all 3 points. Of course, it will be in our goal of the month competition, including that strike from Jamie Vardy. And as ever, we'll hear from the man at the realm here at Leicester, Enzo Maresca. Before we do any of that, though, we've got to talk to Liam Moore, of course, about the last time Leicester City were in the Championship, and it was a Championship winning season. You played 30 times in that, and in those 30 appearances, there was 1 goal as well against Wigan Athletic.
Drifted in deep, free header here for Moore! Oh, the youngster's off the mark! Look at the celebration, that's exactly what it means. He puts a hole in the advertising boards. The marking was awful, but Leicester strike first. Kanoko's delivery, but look at the space for Moore. And the youngster gets his reward for a terrific start to the Championship campaign. Thumping header, Leicester 1-0 up.
What a moment that must have been for you. You can see in your celebration clearly how much it means to you.
Yeah, it was obviously a great moment. I think the interesting thing is there was more celebrations than goals scored, so it was good though. It was, a massive moment, a moment that you dream of as a kid, and all the emotions obviously poured out in that celebration.
Yeah, obviously. Firstly, just playing for your boyhood club must be amazing, let alone scoring for them at home as you did there.
Something you dream of. I know a lot of people say that in a lot of different situations, but for me, I've been at the academy since 6 years of age. Gradually worked my way through the pyramid and got to first team level, and that was the next thing to be ticked off. And when I got the goal, it was a huge sense of relief, but I enjoyed it as well.
I suppose I always say to people that there's certain moments in your career that you never ever forget. Making your reserve team debut
Under the Jerry Taggart.
Obviously getting the chance to play in the first team, scoring your first goal as well. So with that being your first goal, Liam, do you remember as it was only yesterday, or obviously you've just seen it on screen now? Is it all come flooding back, or do you still remember it as if you just scored it yesterday?
Yeah, I still remember it. It's like movements that we worked on as well.
Yeah.
When I played with Wes, which majority of my games for Leicester was with Wes, he always went front, I always went back. We just kind of had that understanding. And I used to like the long peel around the back. I kind of trusted my natural ability to out jump people.
Yeah.
But on that occasion, nobody came with me, so it was like I can just remember the ball coming in. It was really slow because I knew nobody was near me. It was like I better hit the target here, kind of thing. So I made good contact with it, and I don't think I've had an easier opportunity in the 18-yard box because, like you see, no one's within 10 yards of me.
Are you getting nervous when it's coming in because you know how big a chance it's clearly going to be?
There's certain times in games where things move in slow motion, and that was one definitely. I seen it from a long way. Again, something from the training ground. Ant Knockout, I think it was, that took the corner, stood it up perfectly, and as it's come along, it's just so many different emotions in a few seconds. Contact was everything in that situation. I think a lot of time people say put it back where it came from. I probably aimed there. It's come off the other side of my head, but it's good contact and off the mark.
Yeah, I was going to say it didn't come quite off the middle, but there was enough of it on there. But you ask any player when they're through on goal that have got a chance of scoring, the more time you have on it, the worse it is. Centre forwards are used to one touch bang and not even thinking about it. But as a defender to have that much time to see the ball, and then you have to clear your mind and say hit the target was exactly the right thing to do, because otherwise you'd be saying, oh, which corner am I going to stick it in? That corner, or am I going to go straight down the middle? So he did exactly the right thing. Just hit the target.
Yeah, and obviously it came out and it worked. The commentator said you broke the advertising hoardings. That come out of your wages then, did it? That?
So what happened is I had to go and apologise. It was Mark's Electrical, if I'm right. Like I say, it's still like yesterday. I had to go and apologise about putting my foot through his advertising board. It was obviously free advertisement for him. Absolutely. And the club put a big piece out, and I should have took that home, really. Things like that. I should have had that on the wall somewhere. But I'm lucky because where I put my foot through, there's metal bars behind it, so it could have ended differently on the day. But emotions pouring out. Yeah,
never have to pay for an electrician job again in your life after that. Obviously, you spoke about the partnership with Wes, even attacking corners. You had a brilliant one on the pitch as well. Overall, both I assume as friends as well as in a defensive playing capacity. Yeah,
and he's somebody that I owe a lot of my career to. I know that's a big statement, but there was times where I was playing at a level that I probably wasn't quite ready. For example, I probably hadn't played over 60 professional games, but I was playing in the Premier League, so I was still learning on the job. And he was criminally underrated. I know within the Midlands, obviously he was at Forest and he was here, people will tell you how good he was, but I think around the country, people need to really understand how good he was. He was a man mountain. He was better on the ball than people gave him credit for. He had great pace, and all round, I thought, top player. Really good.
And the trophies that he's lifted in his career, I mean, underline that, don't they? What was that day like, winning the championship and lifting it here?
Special day. Again, that's another one of those days you can go straight back to and you can remember everything that happened. A special thing that I remember from that day was we actually got walked out of the tunnel, so he came out in pairs, and that was like a living memory that I'll take to the grave with me. My name got called out, and I just remember 30,000 fans singing One of Your Own. So it doesn't get much better than that for me. I'm born and bred in Leicester, and we'd done what we'd set out to do. It took us many years to get there actually, because the club had been out the Premier League for, I think it was like 10 odd years before that. So it's a great day.
Yeah, it was, and I'm sure you remember it as well, Jerry.
Yeah.
Obviously, and hopefully it'll be replicated this season.
Well, fingers crossed. And the way things are going, obviously, it's looking good. But yeah, again, it's one of those moments in your career that you don't forget. I've been lucky enough to get promoted 3 times, won the championship once, and came second twice. But to win it is obviously that little bit extra special. Getting to the Premier League is hard enough and it's special enough, but to actually win the championship is the icing on the cake.
100 points as well, and you were just formidable that season, really. And that must, for you, you feel so proud that you were such a strong part of that.
There is a little bit of regret though, and I was going to add to what Jerry said there, is we didn't get the record points.
Yeah.
I joined the club that did after I left here, and
That's right.
they still sing about that now, 106.
Yeah.
So that's a regret, but you know, the team now and how they're going and how they're progressing, I know it's very early in the season, they need to take care of business, but I'm sure in the back of people's minds that will be something, because winning's special, the trophy that you get is special, and then getting into the record books would be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, what have you made of this season so far?
Fantastic. I think as a Leicester fan, first and foremost, I was nervous about how the season would go. There was a lot of change all at once. Obviously, relegation came at a time that nobody expected, and probably the club least needed it. But they brought in a manager with fresh ideas, wanted to change a lot, and I think that's always a time where you need to be a little bit apprehensive of how it's going to go, but I think everybody's kind of jumped onto that straight away. The buzz around the training ground, I was lucky enough to spend some time in pre-season. Everybody couldn't speak highly enough of the coach and the coaching staff, and it's been a near perfect start. Obviously there's the blip against Rotherham, but that's going to come. You know, 3 games a week. The championship for me to get out of is the hardest league in the world, so you know, 1 loss in 14 games, it's a hell of a start.
Yeah, I don't think any fan really, Jerry, was expecting the start to have been as good as it has been.
I think if you asked the manager, he'd probably agree with that statement as well. It's unheard of, really, isn't it? At the beginning of a season, especially for the Leicester to be on the run that they're on, but they're in that position now, and as bemusing and as abnormal as this start of the season has been, they're in this position, and so as a player and as individuals, I would say that no one wants to be the one or be a player that contributes to that record being, you know, broken or being stopped of winning games. So for me, I believe the players truly have the bit between their teeth to keep this run going as long as humanly possible. Yes, it has to end at some point, but I still think there's a lot of miles left in the tank before that happens.
Yeah, and to pick up on your point there, obviously the other side of the coin, the players that don't want to be responsible, the
Absolutely.
players want to be responsible for getting the 3 points. And the man that was at the weekend, last weekend of course, was Harry Winks down at QPR. What a goal it was to win that game. Let's take a look back at how it went at Loftus Road a week ago.
After a little bit of Queen's Park Rangers pressure, in goes the Leicester delivery, and what a chance for Cassidy. It was for Fatawu, back in field for Dewsbury Hall. Mavididi on the edge of the penalty area for Leicester, drifts into it now, right-footed effort, takes the deflection and finds the corner via the post. A massive moment for Leicester City, who have had all of the possession but now have the lead. As the ball goes in towards that back post, Adoma was coming in. Might get a second chance here, the number 37, as he plays a high ball in and off the line from Chowdhury. Brilliant defending, but it's not enough in the end as Queen's Park Rangers are level. Important header in the air as Mavididi will take it down again. Nice ball to the edge of the area. Harry Winks is going to have a go, and it was fumbled by Begovic, who made the save and eventually cleared for what will be a Leicester corner. As Vestergaard then hoofs it forward looking for Fatawu, and Fatawu's going to get there here for Leicester, and it's strike saved by Begovic. QPR get it clear. A chance from out of absolutely nothing for Leicester City. Scoring against Swansea City last weekend. Here's Mavididi, Winks on the edge of the penalty area. He's going to have a go, and it is a cracking goal. What a way to open your account for Leicester City. And more importantly, on the day, what a way to put the Foxes back in front. Back with Iheanacho inside the box. Pereira on the edge of it. He's going to have a go. And a fantastic save from Begovic. Diving down to his right-hand side.
Well, that made it 9 wins in a row at the start of this season and 13 wins out of the first 14. Only just in the end, QPR put up a really good fight.
Yeah, they did. But I think what I like so much about this team, and many of the fans will as well, is just how dynamic they are. They're always going to create chances. You look at the front three, even starting again tonight, it would strike fear into so many defence in the league, and that's happened on the day last weekend. But on top of that, you've got the quality of someone like Harry Winks that can put it in top bins from 25 yards. You're going to win games.
Yeah, I think, it's important, and we've seen it before this season when they've come under a little bit of pressure. Okay, the pressure was reversed against QPR because they were down to 10 men, so the pressure was on Leicester to go and get the win and try and force the issue, not the other way around when you play away from home. But they've kept finding a way of winning games this season. When they've been pegged back, which they were against QPR, they keep coming up with the goods, and again they keep coming up with the goods late on in games. But this finish here, that's a shame, that, isn't it? I'm for goal of the month.
You reckon?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll take a look at some of the other strikes a little bit later. Dewsbury pulling Winks out of the crowd as well there to save him getting booked and missing tonight's game as well. But great goal this, Liam, isn't it?
Top quality. It's just a brilliant shot, but it's a brilliant signing at the start of the season. When you see somebody of Harry Winks' calibre coming through the door, you can really get a picture of what the manager wants to do, how he wants to play. And I think week in, week out, we're seeing that he's the only player from right outfield player to start every minute of every game, and that just speaks volumes. He is the key player in this side, and if Leicester are going to go on to do what they want to do this season, then he will play a huge part in it.
I'll tell you what also, when you run that back and look at it, is his first touch, the way he just sort of he caresses it into the space in front of him, so he knows even before the ball's coming to him exactly what he's going to do. He knows he's got the space in front of him, so instead of like having a true touch and stopping it dead, then moving it and then shooting, he just caresses it into the space. Great first touch. It looks really simple, but that sets him up, and he's able to just whip the ball round with that little bit of curl on it into the top corner.
Yeah, he hasn't scored a huge amount of goals in his career. That surprises you when you see goals like that, but that was very much a pass into the back of the net, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that kind of suits his style. He's one of those players that never looks like he needs to do anything at 100%. It's all very tidy and very easy, and it's made to look easy, should I say. The shot and the goal's not easy, the touch isn't even easy, that Tag's mentioned there, but he's that type of player that can make it look easy. And with his first touch, he's told everybody in the stadium, even the goalkeeper, what he's going to do. But with someone with his technical ability, if he gets it right, like he did on that occasion, the keeper can't get anywhere near it.
He's the 13th different scorer Leicester have had already this season, in all competitions that is, but only 14 league games in. What does that tell you about there?
Absolutely, and that will be part of the philosophy, that you have to chip in from all over the pitch. You look at the way Leicester play, they get lots of players in forward positions nice and early, and if you're not in a forward position, then you're supporting the play, and Harry Winks predominantly supports the play from the edge of the box when the ball's deep in the opposition half of the pitch. But even from them areas, you have to be saying to yourself as a midfielder, can I get 2, 3, 4 strikes like that away a season and hopefully score them goals? Never mind the defenders coming up from set pieces and trying to help the team out with goals from corners, free kicks and stuff like that.
I mean, in that partnership in midfield, there's Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, of course, warming up, all the players in the shirts. It's the pop again, if you like, this evening here at Leicester, and they've formed a really good partnership, haven't they? Winks and Dewsbury-Hall, even Ricardo when he goes in there, MATCHDAY or Ndidi, whoever the other one might be as well. It's
a serious amount of quality within the squad. For me, he's one of my favourite players, KDH. He's taken to first team football, like, for me, as high a standard as anyone breaking through the academy over recent years. And they really do complement each other, both technically very good, Dewsbury Hall's one of those players that looks like he can float by opposition players. And when you've got Harry Winks behind you, he will feed you over and over and over again. And it gives him the opportunity to break in the box, to show his quality. And I guess in hindsight, he'll be looking back and wishing that he had that kind of service from behind in the Premier League. But the way they're going, that looks like they'll be back there soon.
It's almost as if Enzo has simplified his game for him in saying, predominantly you're going to burst forward into the space. You have to read the signs, find where the space is, burst forward. If you remember KDH when he first came into the first team, he was an all-action midfielder. Yep. He did everything, or he tried to do everything on the ball. Whereas now, we know he can float past players. We know we can get up to the edge of the box and then sprint back and make a crunching challenge. But in those forwarders, because he's got Ricardo and Winks in the midfield who can find them, even the centre halves have got the quality to find them with long passes. He's just looking for that gap to run into and get on the edge of, create and score goals.
I agree with that as well. I came to a game about a year ago, and you could tell, being a Leicester boy as well, he wanted to show himself on the pitch.
And you've sort of felt like you know what that feels
like.
Yeah,
of course. And I think at times when the team is struggling, you want to be that player to stand up, but he almost did too much at times. You know, he's going to receive the ball in the full-back area, and then he's trying to break forward and get on the end of a cross. And by the time he's actually got the ball, he's wasted a lot of his energy because he's doing other people's jobs. And I think, as Tag said there, Enzo's come in and said, this is your role. I will put players behind you that can do their role. And the quality they have in the squad, if you're not doing your role, you don't play. And that's what you need. That's the kind of competition you need.
Yeah, worst comes to worst, he's got Harry Winks sitting just behind him as well, which can always help a player with that amount of experience. Now, the timing was great, actually, Jerry, wasn't it? Following that goal against QPR at the weekend, he sat down with Gerry Taggart and Matt Elliott to be the next guest on our podcast, Leicester's the Place. Here's a little snippet of that. It will be available to watch or to listen in full on Sunday.
Challenge. I wanted to fight for something. You know, the manager always stresses to us at the moment, you know, what we're doing is not normal in football. You touched on, I went on loan to Sampdoria and I won one game and it was difficult. Right. It was really, it's difficult. And I think we're all trying to take on board is that, you know, we should enjoy football. You know, football to be enjoyed. You know, we've recruited really good people and people that want to take the club forward. A lot of us players in the last couple of years haven't won as regularly as this.
Have you seen the win bonus to that?
That was Gerry Taggart and Matt Elliott there in conversation with Harry Winks. That is the latest episode of Leicester's the Place, which will be available to you on Sunday. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to that. You can also watch it on YouTube or on Fox's Hub. There's plenty going on, of course, on Fox's Hub for you to sink your teeth into. Probably not on this Friday evening, considering we've got just over half an hour or so to go until kick-off here at King Power Stadium. But as I said, from Sunday, you can watch that episode. Tactics Board with David Nugent is available. That's where the two of us sit through or watch through some of the Leicester's best goals so far this season and analyse how they did them. There's a documentary inside Leicester City's academy called Future Foxes. Classic Cons with Kelechi Iheanacho and Ricardo looking through some of their best goals for the club, as well as Kiernan Dewsbury Hall's journey. We took him to Shepshed United, where he was a player at 8 years old, and we talked to him about that journey really from the academy into the first team and now doing exactly what he's doing. Quick word though on that podcast, Jay. Fascinating insight, wasn't it, for an hour really with Harry Winks? That
absolutely, and how the philosophy of football has changed since the dinosaur days when I played, and just a player of his experience coming to Leicester and saying that he's learned so much since he's come to Leicester, even though he's played in the Champions League final under Pochettino, and obviously played for England as well. So yeah, it was a great listen.
His goal, I'm sure, will be part of Leicester City's Goal of the Month contenders for the month of October, of course. All you need to do is head on to the website. You can have your say on which one is your favourite. Here are the ones to pick from.
It's Ndidi squaring it to Vardy, controls left foot in the queue, angle, brilliant goal! Oh, it's Vardy at his best! And it's Leicester at their best, playing it the Enzo way. Out to Fatawu, down the line, and Ndidi making their diagonal run. Feasting first time, looked like there was too Blackburn 1, Leicester 2. And here's Eunice for Leicester, rampaging down the left. Dewsbury Hall pointing for the ball to be played to him, and he's got there first. Oh, brilliant! Superb from Leicester City. Eunice spotting the run of Dewsbury Hall. He pointed exactly where he wanted it, left of the penalty area. And as the goalkeeper Walstead comes sliding out, Dewsbury Hall calmly chips the ball over the onrushing goalkeeper. Those Leicester fans are celebrating again.
It's a clever ball to find Goodwin. So one chance at the end of the half here for Leicester City. Goodwin, surely for Peterman, great block. Really good block. Great for Palmer. Oh, what a goal! Amy Palmer against her former club. And it's a terrific finish into the top corner.
And now Fass. They tried to help it onto Dewsbury Hall. Lovely touch. Dewsbury Hall to Ndidi. Oh, what a goal this would be! Finished off by Kelechi Iheanacho. Leicester are heading top, and they are going to take some shifting in the Championship.
Sublime move from Leicester. Ricardo, who put a bit of impetus into the move, played it almost blind across himself, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Dewsbury Hall jumps in front of the challenge, lovely close control.
Cowdrey. Dewsbury Hall. Well, they're backing off him a little bit. And it's in towards Ndidi, and Vardy puts it in the back of the net. There's no flag. It's 2-0. And the two subs have combined so quickly after coming off the bench. Vardy is delighted, Leicester are delighted. It's surely another victory for the leaders of the Championship.
Scored on her debut for Leicester against their old club Bristol City. She get her second Fox's goal here. Palmer, oh, it's brilliant. What a fantastic strike from Amy Palmer. Well, she's not been at Leicester long, but we know what she's about, all right. It's another stunning goal. And Leicester City take the lead through a moment of genuine quality from Amy Palmer. She picked a spot, found the corner. Brilliant free kick.
First time for Dewsbury Hall on the far side. Cullen defending in there for Swansea, but he's given it back away to Dewsbury Hall. Low ball in towards Ndidi. Fatawu, can he get his shot away? You bet he can. As he fires it into the roof of the Swansea net and completes the Leicester City turnaround. It's an emphatic finish from the number 18, and it's a huge goal for the Foxes. And the away end explodes into a sea of blue as Leicester City in front. Well, Iheanacho completed the scoring against Swansea City last weekend. Here's Mavididi, winks on the edge of the penalty area. He's going to have a goal! And it is a cracking goal! What a way to open your account for Leicester City. And more importantly, on the day, what a way to put the Foxes back in front.
I'm guessing that Harry is a great influence on this dressing room, and he picks the ball up 25 yards out, he opens his body up and he just whips it with his right foot. It's a sensational finish from Harry Winks.
Well, quite a tough choice there, I think, for the goal of the month. That will be available for you to vote in the coming days on the website. So keep an eye out on lcfc.com and Fox's Hub for that one. Tough choice, Jerry. It's got to be Harry Winks.
Yeah, I still think Harry Winks is technically the best goal. But in saying that, the best team stroke finish goal was Jamie Vardy's at Blackburn. I think his finish, very difficult finish after a really good move. Quick, incisive move difficult ball to control and then get on target. But if you're talking about pure class, Harry Winks.
Yeah. How about you, Liam?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Tags there. The Amy Palmer goal away at Bristol was a great strike. Harry Winks is, I think, the moment of the game, obviously.
Yeah.
That adds to it, pure quality. But having watched that, there was 2 or 3 team goals with cutbacks. It's definitely something they've worked on. No greed at all involved. Pull it across to your mate, and it's a tap in on the eye. But it's been really good build up.
Well, that's it. That's exactly what the Tactics Board preview that we did there, promo rather, is exactly what David Nugent was saying. We talked about that. We talked about the moves and the fact that there's no selfishness in this squad. Every single player is there, and I think the goal that probably sums it was it Norwich away. Jerry Kiernan Dewsbury Hall through on goal last minute, pulls it back for McAteer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's obviously something they've worked on. Also, one other thing that I noticed was the underlapping runs that the players make from deep when the ball is in wide areas, and the players are making those inside long busting runs. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall's goal at Blackburn where he chips the keeper.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of the other goals where there's been inside runs or underlapping runs, and then, as Liam had already said, the ball is then squared across the goal for a tap in. So yeah, you can see all that work in the training ground coming to fruition with, I would say, the majority of those goals.
And I guess that probably underlines why there have been 13 different scorers so far.
Yeah, obviously the squad's changing. I think it's now a team that's difficult to name the starting lineup before the manager actually does. In previous years, you might be guilty of knowing what the team is going to be regardless of the results. So people are coming in and getting opportunities. People are obviously taking opportunities, but again, as Jerry said there, I think them deep runs are creating opportunities not only for the players doing it, but for people that then on their wavelength for the cutbacks, and they look like easy goals, like I say. But Dewsbury Hall and Diddy, they're doing the long busting runs to create them chances for other people, and it's clearly working.
Yeah, so much hard work going in on the training ground at Seagrave. Someone that probably didn't put that much hard work in on the training ground is Matt Elliott. He's sat in the press box for us this evening on co-commentary duty for us. Matt, I think that's a fair thing for me to label you as there.
A little bit unnecessary, Bates, especially when I've got 1 or 2 things over you that I'm keeping private up to now. A little bit of dangerous from you, but fair comment, yeah, harsh but fair.
What are you expecting tonight, Matt?
Well, expecting a very good game, I think, as most people. This is one that's sort of really caught the eye. It's caught the eye of sporting media as well. There's a lot of focus and attention on this game. And rightly so. It's a Friday night, good atmosphere. 2 of the top 3 teams in the Championship, both relegated last season, both going relatively well. Well, more than relatively well, but in Leicester's point of view. But looking at the Leeds squad, there's still a number of players who have Premier League experience, 1 or 2 quite exciting additions as well. Rutter up top and Pirro from Swansea, both will rattle up a few goals this season, and on the face of it, you're expecting a lot of entertainment, aren't you? And you feel like this is going to be, I wouldn't say the first, because Sunderland came here and put up a good account of themselves, didn't they? But it's going to be a real big test for Leicester, and you're going to see exactly how good they are, you feel. Matt,
it's Tags here. What do you expect them from Leeds tonight in the forward areas?
Well, I think Leeds are going to look to cause problems, aren't they? Listen, I think it will sort of ebb and flow a touch, because Leicester naturally will have a lot of possession, but that will be exciting or interesting to see how they can cope with that possession game, when I feel that Leeds won't just sit back, I don't think, and totally rely on the counter. I think they've got enough confidence and belief about them to go and put Leicester under pressure, see whether they can deal with that.
Do you think you'll see them coming out and sort of playing a similar style to, say, Southampton, Sunderland, when they came here a week or so ago?
Yeah, I fancy that along the lines. I don't think they're going to come here and be sort of submissive, are they? I think they're going to try and impress their own game and their own abilities on Leicester, and not head to head, but go and front them up a little bit, which is all the makings of a good game, because Leeds had a little bit of a patchy opening period, didn't they? But they've hit a run of form now. Is it 4 in 5 they've won? getting a bit of consistency, and they'll come here full of confidence. It's got a real match on their hands.
Thank you very much, Matt. We'll hear from you on co-commentary duty alongside Chris Parrott for kick-off in around about 20 minutes or so. It's a good point that they were both making there, Liam, on Leeds' front four, if you like. They've got, well, Willie Gnonto on the bench, Jayden Anthony, who they signed from Bournemouth. He's, you know, can't get in the starting 11 either, which shows that they've got a really strong attacking lineup.
Yeah, they have. It's full of quality, but I think their game plan coming here will be just as much off the ball as on the ball. They're very dynamic. They're front three players, and they've also got players on the bench that can come in when needs be. So I personally think we're going to see them step on to Leicester's back four, try and stop the initial play out, make us go long early doors, and then ask some questions, because for me, if you're going to want to play against any team that wants possession of the ball, it's about making it difficult, and I believe that they have got the legs to do that. It's going to be more of a chess match. Can Leicester find the press? Can they find the gaps?
I think, you know, what's an important point tonight is you mentioned their bench. This is going to be a high energy, high intensity game of football. If it's anything like Sunderland, both teams have quality on the bench to come off. I think Leeds have scored 11 goals away from home in the last 6 games. So, you know, it's almost an average of 2 goals away from home. That's a good average. So, expecting a really tough game tonight, and they've got pace in those forward lines that can hurt Leicester. So Leicester have to be right on the money tonight.
Yeah, how important will the matchup be at the back for Leicester particularly? We know how Ricardo likes to push into that midfield area, doesn't he? And then if Leicester maybe lose it, it could be 3-on-3 or 4-on-3 with the players that Leeds have going forward. Yeah,
it's going to be a really interesting matchup because, as Tag said, they can score goals away from home. They've done that, but the 3 losses that they've had this season have all come away from home as well. So if we add all these things together, it could be in for a really interesting game. It could be a high-scoring game. I feel like one of the most important things for Leicester is not to get comfortable in possession. You know, when Ricardo's going into midfield and centre halves have got the ball, it's not about switching off what's behind you. They've got to stay on top of that because they've got pace, they've got legs that can hurt them in behind. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting, a bit of a chess match. Yeah, no wonder it's on a Friday evening, is it? Prime TV spot, of course, because it should be a really entertaining game tonight. Let's hear from the Leicester City manager then. Enzo Maresca has been speaking to the press, of course, in the week in the lead up to this game, and he's been assessing tonight's opponents, Leeds.
If you remember, I said before QPR game, and some of you asked me, because Harry Winks and Keenan, they were with the 4 yellow card. You asked me if we were thinking to leave them out. And I said, QPR, they are 3 points, and Leeds, they are 3 points. So for us tomorrow, it's just one more game that we're going to try to do our best, to use our weapon, to prepare the game in the way we want to play, but nothing more than that.
Tactically, Leeds have scored the most goals in the league from fast breaks and counters. With your style, I wonder, how do you limit that threat other than countering on you when you have the ball? Anyway, we know that they are good in transition. I don't think they are only good in transition. In general, they are a very good team. But with, Rutter, Piroe, Somerville, James at front, Gnonto, they are very quick, very good in transition. We need to be careful. And probably more than ever, it's a game that we need to give many passes before we attack. Because as we always said, if we attack quick, they're going to attack us quick. And it's not the game that we are looking for. I know it is game by game, but if you do win tomorrow, you could equal, Bristol City's record from 1905, winning 14 of your first 15 games in the second tier. I know it's early, but can you appreciate what a great start to the season it's been so far? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. We are happy, we appreciate, but as we already said, until 2 days ago, I always said we are in October, now we are in November. So hopefully we can go October, November, they're always repeating the same until January, February, with the same amount of points of distance. But now serious, we know that there are many games.
And Conor Cody has spoken this week about the atmosphere at the club. He says it's like no other he's ever experienced. Obviously, there's been so much talk about the success on the pitch. I just wondered for you how important that side of things has been for you to create since you came in.
Oh, absolutely. It's very important.
not only outside the pitch. Connor is helping us even inside the pitch, because the last game he played very well. He played in the right side, not in the central position, because we use Yannick there. He adapted himself very well. He's making an effort. So we really appreciate Connor outside the pitch, but especially inside the pitch, because at the end it's our player and we need to use him as a player. And we appreciate, because as we said, now they adapt themselves, because they see that the team is working well, get results, so they need to adapt a little bit themselves.
That was Enzo Maresca there speaking ahead of this game with Leeds this evening. What could be a record-breaking game for the Foxes. If they win, it will be 10 wins in a row. The club has never done that before. The game is available to you as ever here on Foxes Hub. Depending on where you are internationally, you can watch the game. There are game passes available to you. All you need to do is head to lcfc.com/Foxes Hub. Those of you here in the UK as well, you can listen to the game as well. There is a Listen Live monthly pass which is available. It's an audio pass to get, and as well as it says there, monthly, you can listen to all the games in the month of November. Let's get a quick recap then of tonight's team news here at King Power Stadium. We are just under 20 minutes away now from kickoff. This is how the Foxes line up. It's Hermansen in goal, Justin, Vestergaard, Fass and Ricardo. They're the two changes from the team that beat QPR a week ago, with Cody dropping out as well as Hamza Chowdhury. It's Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Cassidy in midfield, with Mavididi and Fatawu either side of Jamie Vardy. From a Leeds United point of view, they make just the one change. That's at right back. Gray comes in for Shackleton. It's Meslier, Byram, Strauch, Rodon and Gray. Ampadu, Kamara, with Somerville, Pirro and James in behind Jorginho, Rutter. It's actually fascinating, Liam, hearing from Enzo Maresca whenever he talks, because he always talks quite openly. I think that's fair to say, Jerry, isn't it, about the teams that he's playing, about his own side, and he clearly cares and he clearly wants to win. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, he's obviously came from an environment where they're used to winning, and he's obviously brought that with him. I find it really interesting how he's adapted to the Championship, not overlooking teams. I know maybe from the outside people might think, right, it's a great opportunity to change a certain amount of players, go and play against QPR struggling and all eyes on Leeds. But as he rightly said, every game's 3 points. Let's get them 3 points and then we'll assess next week when next week comes.
I think as a manager, especially in the modern era, because of the technology and the staff that you have at your availability, if you cross all the I's and dot all the T's and do what you can and focus on what the players need to know, and then give the players the confidence to go out and play with that information, i.e. go and play with no fear, don't worry about making mistakes, then you're giving yourself the best opportunity you can. We know Leicester have the quality on the pitch. We know it's going to be a tough game against a good Leeds side. So you give the players the information and you give them the confidence. They've already got the confidence as a group of individuals, but as a manager, as a manager in that dressing room, for a player, you're just looking for that little bit of extra bit of little bit of magic from the manager before you go out onto the pitch.
Yeah, one of the players that he's giving that magic to is Yannick Vestergaard. He's only not started one game in the league so far this season. That was because he was suspended earlier on in the season. He really has had a fantastic start to this campaign, and he's caught up with our commentator this evening, Chris Parrott.
Yannick, feels like a big night, a big game. How much are you looking forward to this?
Looking forward to it very much. Very good opponent. It's going to be a tough game. We're obviously going to the game with a lot of confidence, but I think we're humble and we know that this is going to be a big task.
Yeah, Leeds are a quality side. Also came down from the Premier League. What are you expecting from them this evening?
I think it's an aggressive team, good on the counter. Has scored quite a few goals, so I think big task for us today to keep them away and to keep possession and try and take their strengths away from them a little bit.
A win would put Leicester 17 points clear of Leeds. How much of a statement would victory tonight be?
I don't think too much of statements. I think we've had success this season because of our mindset going into games and doing everything we can to win that particular game and not thinking too much about everything around it. Obviously, I think it's a good place to be where we are right now and what a win would do. But the focus is the game, and that game is tough enough as it is.
That's Yannick Vestergaard speaking to our commentator tonight, Chris Parrott. He's been a vital cog in this Leicester squad that's won 13 of its first 14 league games this season.
Absolutely, he deserves the utmost credit for turning things around, in all honesty. Though, if you'd have asked Leicester fans back end of last season, do you see him being a key part next season or even being at the club, I think majority would say no. But he's been different class, you know, not only defensively, you know, they've looked really solid and he's a key part of that, but offensively as well. A lot of the attacks come through him, and if I've seen the stat right, he's played the most passes per 90 minutes in the league this season, and that speaks volumes of how Leicester want to play and what the manager's asking of them.
Just finally, Jerry, before we hand over to our commentary team this evening of Chris Parrott and Matt Elliott, what do Leicester need to do? What's the key, do you think, if they're going to break this club record and win 10 in a row? What's the key, particularly early on?
It's difficult. They're not going to change the way they play the game. It's as simple as that. It's going to be more of the same. Playing with confidence, playing their style of football. I think Leeds concede goals. I think they've conceded 15 goals this season, and they've conceded 5 goals in their last 5 games. So it's a goal a game. So opportunities will come Leicester's way. Can they maximise those opportunities? And obviously, Leeds, you've just heard it, very, very good on the counter-attack. Very, very good in transition. So Yannick Vestergaard and Walt Faes and the rest of the defenders will understand and know exactly what to do, but it's going to be a key element of the game tonight, is keeping those forward players for Leeds pretty quiet.
Yes, and whatever you do, don't go anywhere, particularly if it's goalless heading into the last 15 minutes or so, because over half of Leicester's home league goals have come after the 75th minute. Let's hope we see a repeat of that and a winner maybe in the last 10 minutes or so. You'll hear it or you'll watch it with us on Fox's Hub on Matchday Live. Here's all the details of what is available to you this evening.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Foxes Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Foxes Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Foxes Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Foxes Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Foxes Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support at streamamg.com. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the match.